You know what makes stupidity truly dangerous. It's not clumsiness or drooling, it's confidence. A foolish man doesn't stumble through life looking lost. He walks boldly convinced he's right, convinced he sees clearly while his entire life quietly falls apart behind him. And the worst part, he never stops talking. He speaks before he thinks. He reacts before he observes. He blames before he reflects. That's what makes a man truly foolish. It's not a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of awareness, a lack of control. Seneca once said, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. But stupid men, they live in tomorrow. Or worse, they live inside someone else's version of today." So how do you know if someone is truly wise? Don't just watch what he does, listen to what he says. Because a man reveals his discipline, his pain, and his self-respect through his words. And that brings us here 6 things that only foolish men say. 6 verbal red flags that expose weakness, cowardice, and delusion. If you ever catch yourself saying these, kill the words before they kill your potential. The first, "That's just the way I am." This is not strength, it's slavery. It's the anthem of a man who has stopped evolving, who's chosen comfort over growth. A Stoic man knows that personality is not a prison. You're meant to evolve. You must evolve. When you say, "That's just the way I am," what you're really saying is, "I refuse to change." Marcus Aurelius taught that we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we think. The foolish man denies this. He blames his childhood, his zodiac sign, his genetics, anything to avoid responsibility. He treats his flaws like sacred birthrights. But the truth, you are clay. Every day you decide, will you shape yourself into something strong and dangerous, or will you rot in excuses? The second, "I don't care what people think." Sounds powerful, right? But most of the time it's a lie. The men who say this are usually the ones who care the most. They wear those words like armor, pretending they're untouchable, but inside they're fragile, ego-driven, easily triggered. The Stoic doesn't need to announce his indifference, he just lives it. He doesn't fight wars against opinions because he's too busy mastering himself. As Epictetus put it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. A stupid man craves the image of strength. A wise man chases the reality of strength, and that requires silence, patience, solitude. So next time you hear someone brag about not caring, look closer. Chances are they're addicted to attention. Because only the insecure feel the need to convince the world they're secure. The third, "It's not my fault." This is the national anthem of the weak. These are the men who blame everything: their parents, their boss, their ex, the economy, the algorithm. Everyone else is responsible for their failures, everyone but them. But here's the truth: once you give away the blame, you also give away the power. You're no longer the creator of your life, you've become a victim of the storm. A Stoic doesn't run from responsibility. He grabs it like a sword. Even if it isn't his fault, he makes it his fight. Because taking ownership even of things you didn't cause gives you the power to change them. Blame is delay, responsibility is action. The foolish man thinks that by avoiding guilt he avoids pain, but the wise man knows you'll face pain either way, the pain of growth or the pain of regret, and regret, it never lets you go. The fourth, "Why should I try if nothing changes?" This is the seductive lie whispered by defeat, the mindset that convinces a man to stop before he even starts. And this is where the real unraveling begins. It's the logic of a man who craves results without discipline. He hits the gym for 2 weeks, doesn't see abs, and quits. He tries to start a business, meets resistance, and folds. He apologizes once to his partner, she's still upset, and he gives up trying. He expects quick rewards from a slow universe. He treats effort like a vending machine: push a button, get a snack. But life doesn't work that way, and Stoics don't play that game. They live by process, not by praise. Musashi never asked, "Will this duel change my life?" He simply prepared, trained, fought, and repeated. Because the value is in the doing, not the outcome. The moment you ask, "Why should I even try?" you've already lost your fire. and a man without fire is already halfway in the grave. Remember this, the man who keeps swinging even when it looks pointless is the one who eventually breaks the wall. Then comes the next lie, I deserve better. This one sounds motivational, even empowering. But in reality, it's a weapon used by men who haven't earned anything. Foolish men love this phrase because it lets them feel like kings without ever building a kingdom. They claim they deserve loyalty, money, love, and ease while offering nothing but their existence. Here's the truth, you don't deserve anything. You earn it through blood scars and daily self-mastery. A Stoic doesn't demand what life owes him. He asks, what am I willing to sacrifice for it? Who must I become to be worthy of it? Desire without discipline is delusion. You want better, then be better. Otherwise, you're just a child in a man's costume crying for a throne you never built. And then we reach the final phrase, the coffin nail. That's impossible. Foolish men say this, not because things are impossible, but because they're unwilling. They see someone rise from nothing and say he was lucky. They see someone build a body of steel and scoff steroids. They see a man who controls his emotions and sneer he's fake. Why? Because to admit greatness is possible is to admit they failed to reach it. So it's safer to call it impossible to hide behind the walls of their mediocrity. But Seneca said it best. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor strengthens the body. The foolish man doesn't want strength. He wants validation. He doesn't seek truth. He seeks comfort. And so he calls everything beyond his narrow worldview impossible and rots there. The cure for stupidity isn't found in books or IQ tests. It's brutal self-honesty. Being stupid isn't about how smart you are. It's about how you think, how you speak, how you face reality. You want to stop being foolish. Then silence your mouth and sharpen your awareness, because the wise man doesn't need to prove his wisdom. He lets silence speak. He lets results speak. He observes 10 times before speaking once. He treats words like weapons, not noise. You are not what you post. You are not what you say you'll do. You are only what you repeatedly prove when no one's watching. If you want to be dangerous, respected, untouchable, then kill the weak phrases that are killing your power. Stop saying I don't care. Stop saying it's not my fault. Stop saying I deserve better while staying average. And for the love of everything still divine in you, stop saying that's just the way I am. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more men. Men who speak with intention. Men who think like warriors. Men who kill the coward inside so they can rise as something greater. This is Stoicism Breath.